has always been within the law. Not once in those 23 years have I been arrested by any police officer. I have been harassed by police officers, but I have made it quite clear to those police officers that their actions are not within the law. If necessarily, if I live long enough, I will come outside all your operational police stations here in Southwark for the next 23 years. You know that when I say this, I mean it.
Right, so an employee or employees of the Southwark Council's cleaning department, mainly their waste disposal unit, that it's these people who go around with the Southwark trucks, you know, the ones with the gauges on the back, and they've got the Southwark logo down the sides. For around 10 years, some of them have been harassing me, shouting verbal abuse whenever they see me. Whenever I'm going about, wherever they may see me, they stop and shout verbal abuse at me. And on the 19th of March of this year, I noticed that one of these men, this man is a white man, he's about 5'8", in his mid-30s, bald head, of medium build. I noticed him, I went outside my home because there's a depot on the other side of the road from where I live, a council depot, and I confronted him. I said, I want you to stop verbally abusing me. Instead of apologising, he came over and verbally abusing me, calling me a cunt, you fat cunt, and all that sort of stuff, and he even threatened to knock me out, you know. And this was seen by several neighbours where I lived, in Peckham. And I didn't, when he threatened me with violence, I went back inside my home, I called 999, the police arrived about 6 hours later, I told them what had happened, and I thought there would be an investigation. And after several weeks, I decided that I went outside Peckham Police Station, that's where the police officers came from, and started to protest the failure that the police were not investigating. And a chief inspector came out, and he came across the road. He told me he was a senior officer in the police station at that time. He then invited me inside. I told him, I agreed to that, went inside, and I told him what had happened, you know, about the man verbal abuse and harassment from me and other employees of the Southwark Council. And I thought that something would be done about it, you know. Instead, I never heard anything else about it, you know. So since April, I've been outside all the Southwark police stations protesting indefinitely until there's a proper investigation into this man's behaviour, you know. I believe the police have spoken to him, but he's denied that he said threatened me. But my neighbours actually heard him because they saw him and they came out to see what was going on, and they are witnesses to that. So since then, he's been coming outside my home, shouting verbal abuse, and inciting other employees of the Southwark Council to behave in the same way that he's been behaving. I have photographed these thugs, and I've taken several photographs of them, you know, especially when they've been shouting verbal abuse, you know, disgusting verbal abuse. And I told the Southwark Council, I went down to Tudor Street, that's the headquarters of the Southwark Council, and I told them that if they didn't stop these men, these thugs, appearing outside my home, I would confront them every time they turned up outside my home because of their behaviour. Instead of taking them off, taking them elsewhere, they deliberately put the same man who's threatening me with violence. Every day he comes outside my home. He was outside my home shouting and saying discussing things about me for about half an hour this morning. And frankly, I've had enough, you know. So what I say is that if I went into one of the Southwark Council's buildings and verbally abused somebody in there, and then when that person objected to that abuse, I threatened to do them violence, the police would have been called and I would have probably been arrested and charged with something. So why should there be a difference in a member of the public abusing somebody and threatening an employee of the Southwark Council? When the roles are reversed, the police are not going to take any action. You know? There are witnesses to this incident on the 19th of March. But as far as I'm aware, there's been no investigation by the police. So I believe that somehow, because this man's an employee of the Southwark Council, and because I've been protesting outside their buildings for a long time, I think the police are not going to take any action. So I'm here indefinitely, well, as long as I live basically, until I'm satisfied that there's been a proper investigation. I say this because I know that if I don't do anything about this man and his friends, because he's incited many of them outside my home, because I can hear what he's saying, and so can my neighbours. It's going to continue indefinitely. It's going to get worse and worse, and he's going to go back to his threatening behaviour, perhaps even attack my home or do something unpleasant. Does that make sense to you?
Oh yeah.
So that's my story, and that's why I'm outside this police station, outside all Southwark's police stations, until I'm satisfied, not the police, that they've carried out a proper investigation.